find it. It doesn't seem to be on any of these stations.
Keep looking.
Oh, you're going too slow. Let me take the wheel.
It's too fast. How could you even tell what's on?
I can tell.
What's going on, guys?
Back.
Too late. I'm in the 40s. Gotta go around the horn. It's faster.
Loot from series. So, let's get into this grind.
Now, Etch.
In today's loot from video, I'll be killing the giant mole for 10 hours. One of the more easier bosses to kill but can still make a decent amount of money. Let's see how I get on. Now, I noticed in the comments that you liked my new intro, and I did make it a little bit better this time, so hopefully you enjoyed it. Now, the giant mole is a boss found underneath Falador Park. As you can see, underneath me there's some holes, and if you use your spade on these holes, you'll end up in the mole's lair. Now, there is a few requirements to kill the mole to make it more efficient, and that is by having the hard Falador diaries completed, as you'll get the Falador shield free, and having this in your inventory will locate the mole's whereabouts by a flashing red arrow on the minimap. Also make the claws and the skin drops noted, which is really handy, so you'll be able to stay at the mole for a lot longer, but I'll explain all of that in a little bit more detail once I'm attacking a mole in a minute. Two other requirements for the mole, and first of all is protection from melee, as that is the mole's attack style, and if you don't pray from melee then you will get hit really hard. And the second one is by completing the quest making friends in my arms, so you can light the brazier in the mole's lair and it'll be constantly lit, otherwise you'll be bringing a bullseye lantern with you at all times. Now, there is two ways to kill a mole efficiently. The first method and the most popular method, and that is using Darox while wearing your best boots, amulet, cape, etc. to help with your max hit versus mole. Also using a rock cake to get your health to 1 to 2 HP. Now, as long as you have protection from melee on at all times, you won't get hit. So very simple. Now, the second method, which is what I'm using, and that is the twisted bow method using dragon arrows, which hits really well versus mole, and also you can safe spot the mole doing this as well, and I've marked a tile for those who are wondering where to stand. I'm also taking the best range gear I can, so full armor dale, assembler max cape, barrels gloves, pegs and archer's ring imbued. Now, for my inventory I'm taking around 2 ranging potions and around 10 stamina potions, as you'll be running around a lot, and around 3 to 4 prayer potions, so I can use my rigor or preserve. You won't need food, as I'm using a safe spot method. The next item, which will be the most important, and that is a spade to enter the mole's lair. The Falador shield 3 or 4, as I mentioned earlier, will locate the mole's whereabouts. As that area is so big, it does make life a lot easier. Also, the shield gives you 100% prayer recharge twice a day, so this is handy for the Darox method. I'm also taking a rune pouch filled with alch runes, as the mole drops a lot of alchable items. And one optional item I took with me, and that is the Explorer's Ring 4, and this is by completing the Lumbridge and Draenor Elite diaries, and this ring will give you 100% run energy 3 times a day, which will help killing mole. Only doing the easy to hard won't be any use, as you don't get the run energy boost. I could have also taken my normal max cape, which recharges my run back to 100% once a day, so if you've got a max cape then you could take that with you as an optional choice too. And of course, if you're using a Darox method, then remove some staminas and add some prayer potions, as you'll be praying the whole time. Now, the mole will always spawn in the middle of the lair, and if you click on the minimap it will even say here be a big mole, and if you stand on the tile where I've marked, you will easily safe spot the mole. So I'm a couple of hours in now, guys, and there's other safe spots around this lair which I won't show you all, as there's probably a lot, but you will find out on your own when you're running around the lair looking for the mole. Now, when the mole is between 5 and 50% of its health, there's a 25% chance of the mole to dig underground and move to another location. This is where your Falador shield comes in handy to locate it, and also this is why you're going to need a lot of stamina pots. So yeah, there is other safe spots, and I'll show you a little bit later on in the video, but the one I marked before, where the mole spawns, that is the most important, so that is going to be your main safe spot. I have 4 hours in now, guys, and the good thing about this mole is that it respawns in only 10 seconds, so that's really quick and it gives you enough time to loot and go into the safe spot for another kill. Also, I'm going to talk to you about some of the drops from Giant Mole. Now, the mole doesn't have the greatest drop table in the world, but you can make good money from the mole claws and skins, which is going to be your main source of profit, and they are dropped 100% of the time as well. Now, you can either sell these in a grand exchange or talk to an NPC in Falador Park called Wise and the Gardener, and if you're giving the mole skins and claws, he will give you bird's nests, which may contain seeds and jewellery. This has a high chance of making you more money than just selling the claws and skins in the grand exchange. Next, we have some alchable items. Now, there's not many, so if you do get these as a drop, then you can out for some profit. Now, because this is a loot from video, I'm going to pick up everything and then out those items. Next, we have some runes and arrow drops, which are common items, so collect these as they will add up over time. Now, one thing I like about the mole is that it drops sharks, 4 to be exact, so if you are low health for somewhat reason, then this drop will be handy. Also the mole drops noted U-logs, which is 22k, mithril bars, etc. Now here is some of the miscellaneous items. We have a big list here, but the drop rate of these items are quite high, so one good thing is a lot of these items are alchable as well. Now the last section of the drop table is the best part, as you can get the baby mole, which is 1 in 3k, so that's a really cute pet. You can get an elite clue scroll as well, which is 1 in 500, as well as long bones, which is 1 in 400, and curved bones, which is 1 in 5k for some reason. Also, if you're on a Konar Slayer task, then you can get some brimstone keys, which is 1 in 74 drop rate. So yeah, the drop table isn't great, so you're mainly relying on the mole pieces. Coming up to the 6 hour mark now, so only 4 hours left to go, and this is why having a Falador Hide Diaries completed is so handy, as you can get the mole pieces in noted form, which makes a huge difference, because I was averaging around 50 kills an hour. Now if I didn't have the diaries completed, I might only get around 10 kills an hour, as the mole pieces will fill up my inventory fast and you'll bank more often. During the 10 hours I was averaging around 40k range XP per hour, which is not the best rate in the world, but the XP doesn't bother me too much. Now according to the OSRS wiki, you can make around 1 mil per hour, which is a lot higher than I thought, so I'll let you know at the end of the video if the wiki is accurate. Now to kill this mole you don't have to be max combat, as I've seen really low levels kill the mole. The lowest level I've seen is a level 82 in full DH and a level 103 using a twisted bow. So I would say if you're using a DH method, having around 75 attack strength defense would be great, and around 80 plus range will be enough to kill the mole. 8 hours in now guys, almost at the 10 hour mark, and during this grind I've had to bank around 2 to 3 times just because I had a lot of loot on me and I couldn't hold anymore. Also I didn't use much supplies doing this method, so it saved me a lot of GP in the long run. So here we go guys, the last kill of the 10 hours, and look how many mole pieces I got. That's quite a lot, but remember I do have a lot more in the bank from the previous trips as well. So without further ado, let's get straight into the price check. So the 10 hours is now up, and this is all the loot that I got from 10 hours of killing the giant mole. So let's see how much I have made. 12.2 mil, not too bad. So that means I was averaging around 1.2 mil an hour, and the OSRS wiki was saying you average around 1 mil an hour. So it's fairly accurate, so I must have been doing a lot more kills, so it's pretty good. So let's go through some of the loot that I got. So we've got a cash stack here of 284k, that was from all the alchable items, and we've got some runes, we've got some uncut gems, and we've got a lot of iron ore and U-logs, a lot of iron arrows, 34,000, Jesus. And we've got some amulet strengths as well, and this is where the loot has come from. We got the mole claws and the mole skins. That's 3.6 mil for the claw and 6.5 mil for the mole skins. Now I would sell the mole skins and the mole claws to the NPC at Falador Park and get some crates, which will provide me with bird's nests, etc. But because I'm feeling lazy, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to sell everything in a grand exchange, but you did see earlier on in the video how to do this. Oh, I also got a long bone as well. I forgot to show you, but I couldn't add that in as it's an untradeable. I also spent around 1.2 mil supplies, so I used 1,500 dragon arrows, 20 stamina potions, 8 prayer potions, and that was about it. So yeah, 1.2 mil, so take away that from the profit I made, so I still made 11 mil, so that's really good. So I started off the KC with 221 and ended with 730 KC. So that's 509 moles killed in 10 hours, so really pleased. So that is the end of the video guys. If you liked it, make sure you give this a big thumbs up, comment and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video.